The undervaluation of Carlos Alcaraz at the Australian Open for the second consecutive day. The Australian Open has kicked off with several controversial decisions by the organizers, and one of them directly affects Carlos Alcaraz. A few years ago, the first Grand Slam of the year decided to extend the tournament by one day, splitting the first round into 3 days. This move aimed to boost ticket sales and make it easier to schedule top players on the main courts, meeting their individual demands. With this extra day, it seemed Tennis Australia, the tournament organizers, had solved a major scheduling challenge. However, their decisions regarding match timings have been anything but indifferent and have clearly disadvantaged Carlos Alcaraz. Among the tournament favorites, the Spaniard is the only one who has not yet played on the main court, the Rod Laver Arena, and will not do so in the second round either. The world number 3 will play his match against Yoshihito Nishioka in the Margaret Court Arena, the second most important court. While it is still a great venue, this scheduling decision could hinder him in the later rounds. Unlike Novak Djokovic, who debuted on the Central Court and will continue to play there, and others like Jannik Sinner and Alexander Zverev who have similar privileges, Alcaraz will have fewer opportunities to adapt to the unique conditions of the Rod Laver Arena. Adding to this, Alcaraz's second round match is scheduled at the same time as Djokovic's. This also occurred during the first round, where his match clashed with that of local favorite Nick Kyrgios. At first glance, this might seem fair, ensuring equal rest time before a potential quarterfinal clash. Struggling to win over the audience, the issue lies in television viewership and audience connection. Australian fans, if given a choice between watching Djokovic or Alcaraz, are more likely to favor the Serbian, a 10-time Australian Open champion. Despite this, Alcaraz has not voiced major complaints and seems to accept the situation gracefully. "I trained a lot on the Margaret Court. The court felt a bit fast. I'm not sure if the Rod Laver will feel the same," he clarified. On a different note, Alcaraz has spoken more openly about courtside coaching, another contentious topic at the tournament. "It was quite nice having Juanqui so close. The communication was better. I was worried it might feel intrusive, but honestly, it's been great. I've really liked it," he explained. Alcaraz reflects on his debut at the 2025 Australian Open. Carlos Alcaraz began his 2025 Australian Open campaign with a straight sets victory over Kazakhstan's Alexander Shevchenko. The Spaniard, seeded third, put in a dominant performance, showing his intent to win the title and become the youngest player to achieve the Grand Slam. In his post-match press conference, Alcaraz expressed satisfaction with his debut but acknowledged room for improvement. He also discussed his new service mechanics, admitting that while he still needs time to adjust, he's confident in the changes. "A strong debut. I think I played at a high level. Honestly, you never know how the first match of the season will go. I had confidence that it would go well, but you can never be sure. I'm very, very happy with how I played today, but I definitely want to improve for the next round. I lost focus at one point, had a bit of a lapse, which can happen in the first match of the season. That's something I want to address. New serving mechanics. It was a bit tough today. In practice, everything feels a bit easier than during competition. Anything new takes time, and as the days go by, I hope it will feel more natural. Right now, I'm overthinking things, ball toss, movement, rhythm, there's a lot on my mind when I'm serving. I hope this becomes second nature in the coming days. Confident the changes will pay off. We've decided to include stops in the motion to find more rhythm. Some players use this, others don't, it comes down to personal preference. We knew we needed to make some changes to improve and adapt. I believe this will work, but if it doesn't, we'll try something else. With Juan Carlos Ferrero and Samu Lopez, we made this decision, and I think it will pay off." One thing that helps Alcaraz stay focused during matches is maintaining order. This was evident in the alignment of his water bottles during breaks, a detail that went viral after his debut. "It's not really a tic. I turn them around because they're not my brand. But I like to keep them somewhat aligned, not as meticulously as Rafa, Nadal, but I try to keep them organized. If people used to call me Mini Rafa, now it's even more so because of this. Might as well turn the lights off and call it a day," joked Alcaraz about this routine, which, like other habits, draws comparisons to the Spanish tennis legend. Who is Yoshihito Nishioka, Alcaraz's next opponent? Carlos Alcaraz is gearing up to face Yoshihito Nishioka in the second round of the 2025 Australian Open. Both players will battle for a spot in the next stage of this prestigious tournament. Alcaraz enters this match in great form after defeating Kazakhstan's Shevchenko in less than 2 hours. A victory over Nishioka would keep alive his quest for a fourth Grand Slam title, which would break Rafael Nadal's record. Nishioka, however, won't make it easy. The Japanese player, currently ranked 65th in the ATP rankings, fought hard to defeat Morocco's Mohamed-Aziz Dougas in his opening match. Nishioka and Alcaraz have met once before, in 2022 at the Paris-Bercy Masters, where Alcaraz won 6-4, 6-4. Who is Yoshihito Nishioka? Yoshihito Nishioka, a 29-year-old professional tennis player from Tsu, Japan, is known for his calm demeanor on court, though a 2023 outburst in Cincinnati surprised fans. Ranked 65th in the world, his career has been hampered by injuries, including a severe knee issue since 2017. Despite these setbacks, Nishioka has won 3 ATP titles and continues to fight for his place among the top players. The Serbian Novak Djokovic, currently ranked as the 7th best player in the world, praised Spain's Carlos Alcaraz, the ATP circuit's third-ranked player, stating that his energy and intensity remind him of former world number 1 and fellow Spaniard Rafa Nadal. In the press conference following his debut at the Australian Open, where he secured a victory against American Nishesh Basavireddy, the 24-time Grand Slam champion described the player from Murcia as a very complete player who can hurt you from any side and on any surface, because his versatility is astounding. He brings a lot of energy and intensity to the court, highlighted the Serb, who this year is aiming for what would be his 11th title at the first Grand Slam of the season. Djokovic also praised Alcaraz's precociousness and maturity. For him to have achieved such a high level of tennis at such a young age demonstrates his mental maturity, also on the court, which is impressive and makes him one of the best in the world. He's now winning Grand Slams every year, and I'm sure he won't stop here. Djokovic could face the Spaniard in a potential quarterfinal match if both players reach that round. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. At Tennis Zone, we're dedicated to bringing you the best content for the best audience. From in-depth analysis to exclusive interviews, we provide comprehensive coverage of the tennis world. Join our community and be part of the excitement of the tournaments with us. At Tennis Zone, we strive to deliver high-quality, up-to-date content on players, tournaments, strategies, and the most relevant events in tennis.